The moment your husband tells you you're replaceable is the moment you realize he's forgotten who actually holds the power. I'm Dr. Amelia Kane, 36 years old. 3 weeks ago, my husband of 8 years looked me in the eyes and said, "You're replaceable, Amelia. I've already found someone better, younger, less complicated. You should be grateful I'm even offering you anything in the divorce." He was so confident, so sure of himself, ready to walk away with half of everything. What he'd forgotten, what he'd conveniently erased from his memory, was the prenuptial agreement we signed 8 years ago. The one I drafted, the one that protected everything I'd built before him. My medical practice is worth $4 million. My real estate investments are worth $6 million. My inheritance from my grandmother is worth $3 million. $13 million in assets that were mine before he existed in my life. The prenup he barely read, the one that said if he filed for divorce, he got nothing. Zero. He'd walk away with exactly what he brought into the marriage, which was $42,000 in student debt and a law degree he'd never used. He thought I was replaceable. The prenup proved I was irreplaceable, and he was about to learn the difference. This is the story of how my husband's arrogance cost him $13 million in less than 1 week. Before I tell you what his lawyer said when he read Clause 9, before you hear what the younger woman said when she learned the truth, smash that like button now. Subscribe for prenup protection stories. Drop your city. This is about reading before signing. 9 years ago, I was 27, board-certified cardiologist. I'd finished my residency at 26, started my own practice at 27, built it to $3 million in valuation within a year. I also had inherited wealth. My grandmother died when I was 25, left me $3 million in a trust. Plus, I'd invested in real estate during residency, 4 properties worth $6 million total. $13 million in assets at 28 years old. I met James Kane at a medical conference. He was 30, recent law school graduate, hadn't taken the bar yet, working as a paralegal, making $38,000, $42,000 in student loans. He was charming, handsome, ambitious, said he wanted to be a civil rights attorney, change the world. I believed him. We dated for a year. He was supportive of my career, impressed by my success. "You're incredible, Amelia. I've never met anyone like you." He proposed after 18 months, gave me his grandmother's ring, modest but meaningful. I said yes. Then my lawyer said what lawyers say, "Amelia, you need a prenup, significant premarital assets. It's essential." I agreed, but James reacted badly. "You don't trust me after everything we've built together?" I said, "It's not about trust. It's about protecting what I built before you, my practice, my investments, my inheritance." He was hurt. "I'm not after your money. I love you for you." I said, "Then signing a prenup shouldn't be a problem." My lawyer drafted it, comprehensive, airtight. Key clauses. All premarital assets remain mine, practice, real estate, inheritance. Any assets acquired during the marriage split will be based on contribution. If I file for divorce, 50-50 split of marital assets. If he files for divorce, he gets nothing except what he brought into the marriage. If either commits proven adultery, that party forfeits all claims. That last part was crucial. My lawyer insisted. An asymmetric filing clause protects you if he leaves. The infidelity clause protects you if he cheats. James barely read it. His lawyer, a friend, not a specialist, said, "It's standard for high net worth individuals. Sign it." James signed. We got married. The first 5 years were good. My practice grew to $4 million. My real estate appreciated to $6 million total. I was making $800,000 annually. James took the bar, failed twice, finally passed on the third try, got a job at a small civil rights firm, making $55,000. I paid the mortgage, the bills, vacations, everything. His $55,000 covered his student loans and personal expenses. That's it. Year 6, something changed. James started resenting my success, my hours, my income. You care more about your patients than our marriage. You're never home. I feel like I married a doctor, not a wife. In year 7, he started working out obsessively. New clothes, new car. I bought it for him, an $80,000 Tesla. You deserve it, I said. Year 8, 3 weeks ago, he dropped the bomb. 3 weeks ago, Thursday evening, I came home from the hospital at 9 p.m. Long day, 3 surgeries, exhausted. James was sitting in the living room, dressed up, cologne, looked like he was going somewhere. I said, "You look nice. Date night?" He said, "We need to talk." Those words. Never good. I sat down. "Okay." He said, "I'm not happy. Haven't been for years. I want a divorce." I felt my heart sink. No surprise, not really, but still painful. "Okay, can we try counseling first?" He said, "No. I've met someone else, someone who actually has time for me, someone who isn't married to her career." I said, "You're having an affair?" He said, "I wouldn't call it an affair. You and I haven't been in a real marriage in years. Rachel is what I need. She's 28, an artist. She understands me." Rachel, 28, 8 years younger than me, and artist. I said, "How long?" He said, 6 months, but that's not important. What's important is that I'm filing for divorce, and before you panic, I've talked to a lawyer. California's a community property state. I'm entitled to half of everything acquired during marriage. I said, "Did you read our prenup?" He waved it off. Yeah, the prenup protects your stuff from before we married. Your practice was worth $3 million then. I get half of the growth, half of everything else you earned during marriage. My lawyer says I'm looking at $3 million total." I said, "Your lawyer said that?" He said, "Yup, fair split. You keep your premarital assets, I get half of the marital growth. That's how community property works." I said, "What's your lawyer's name?" He said, "Todd Benson. He specializes in high-asset divorces. He knows what he's doing." I said, "Did Todd read the entire prenup? Every clause?" He said, "He read the important parts. Why are you asking?" I said, "Just curious. When are you filing?" He said, "Tomorrow. Todd's filing the papers. You'll be served this weekend. Don't make this ugly, Amelia. Just accept the split and move on. You're successful. You'll be fine. You're replaceable." That word, replaceable. I said, "Okay, file your papers." He looked surprised. "That's it? No fighting? No begging?" I said, "If you want a divorce, I won't stop you. File." He smiled, smug. "Good. I'm glad you're being mature about this. Rachel and I are moving in next week. I'll be out by the weekend." He stood, left, went to her place, presumably. I sat there for 10 minutes. Then I called my lawyer, Patricia Chen, the one who drafted the prenup 8 years ago. "Patricia, James is filing for divorce. He thinks he's getting $3 million. He forgot clause 9. Patricia laughed. Actually laughed. "Oh, this is going to be beautiful." Monday morning, Patricia filed our response, included a copy of prenup with clause 9 highlighted, financial records showing all assets were premarital or my post-marriage earnings, request that James receive 0 marital assets per the prenup clause, request that James pay my attorney fees. She sent a courtesy copy to Todd Benson. That afternoon, my phone rang. James, screaming, "What the F is clause 9? Your lawyer says I get nothing? That's illegal." I said, "Clause 9, page 7 of the prenup you signed. If you file for divorce, you forfeit all claims to marital assets. You get what you brought in." He said, "That's insane! That can't be enforceable." I said, "California allows asymmetric prenuptial clauses. You filed for divorce. Clause 9 activated. You get nothing." He said, "I have a lawyer. He said I'd get $3 million." I said, "You have a lawyer who didn't read your prenup carefully. That's your problem, not mine." He said, "This is vindictive. You're punishing me for leaving." I said, "You're enforcing a contract you signed. You called me replaceable. Turns out you're the replaceable one, and you're expensive to replace. Too expensive for you to afford." He hung up. 10 minutes later, Todd Benson called Patricia. Todd said, "We need to talk about this prenup." Patricia said, "What about it?" Todd said, "My client doesn't recall Clause 9, the asymmetric filing provision." Patricia said, "Then he should have read what he signed. I have the original, his signature, his lawyer's witness as a signature, dated 8 years ago." Todd said, "The clause is punitive. We'll challenge it as unconscionable." Patricia said, "California courts regularly uphold asymmetric prenup clauses, especially when both parties had independent counsel and time to review. Your client's lawyer approved it. He signed it. He's bound by it." Todd said, "He'll have nothing. He brought in student debt. That's it." Patricia said, "Correct. He brought in $42,000 in student debt, which, per the prenup, remains his responsibility. My client is not liable for it."